Good evening, everyone. You are now tuned into Scholastica, your educational radio station, where we can discuss about anything study related. In today's segment, we will be answering a call from a student who is currently doing her research. Let's hear from her what she has for us to discuss today.
Hi, Daily Gaia. Thanks for choosing my call today.
No worries, glad to be of help. Now tell me, what do you need help with?
I am currently taking up a research class and I needed some advice before I start my chapter 2 and 3. I just want to ensure if I understand the format well. Also, my professor wants me to figure out how can I particularly apply these learnings in my life. Can you help me review?
Oh sure, I'll help you review. But first, I need to assess what you already know. Tell me, what do you understand about chapter 2 and 3?
What I understand is that Chapter 2 serves as the foundation of the proposed study and would include the entirety of review of literature and studies. To differentiate, related literature is composed of facts and principles that are related to the proposed study and is often from journalists or any official, whereas the opinions and facts presented matter and can affect the masses' opinions and thinking. On the other hand, related studies are from researchers or from public offices, or this is from different universities and libraries. Meanwhile, Chapter 3 is focused on the methodology. It would include the answers as to how the research will be conducted and how data will be gathered and interpreted.
Well explained. Now, what seems to be the cause of your uncertainty? It seems to understand the gist of these parts already.
Yes, I do understand the basics, but I find creating the structure difficult.
I see. What was your initial plan after learning this information about research?
Well, for Chapter 2, first I plan to present the review of literature and studies, as well as any synthesis, if there is any that I should include. As for the references, of course I will be citing references and be critical about choosing it. I just have a question. How many of these references of studies and literature should I review for it to become acceptable and appropriate? Do you know?
Is this for undergraduate research?
Yes. Would that make a difference?
Yes, as the task entails, you need to review lots of materials, and for undergraduate research, it is recommended to have at least 20 legitimate reviewed literatures and studies, while for masters, minimum of 40, and for doctors, minimum of 50.
Oh, that's a lot. Thanks.
Do you know what are the qualities of a good review of literature and studies?
Sure. These are to provide a much relevant context for the research, justify the research, and acknowledge existing theories, point of view, hypotheses in the same field, as well as clear up misconceptions about previous research, or illustrate how the subject has been previously studied, even highlight flaws and outline gaps in previous researches. Overall, show that the work is adding to the understanding and knowledge of the field, and help refine the topic, refocus the topic, or even contribute to the topic's evolution.
Well done for your chapter 2 knowledge. Now, how about for chapter 3? What do you understand? What is included in it?
To proceed with Chapter 3, I know that it is important to thoroughly understand whether the study would be qualitative or quantitative, as the type of research design would be based on this. If I choose a study that deals with data collection and analysis based on mathematical calculations in a variety of forms and statistics, it would be considered quantitative, and the design may be experimental or non-experimental, depending on how the variables of data will be changed or manipulated. On the other hand, if the study focuses on seeking to understand a phenomenon by focusing on the total picture, it would be considered as qualitative. And its types can vary from basic interpretative study, case study, document or content analysis, ethnography, grounded theory, historical research, narrative inquiry, and phenomenological study. This design would answer the question of the study as to what we can learn about it. And after it is completed,
Nice, you have enumerated the types of research designs and how important it is. But do you know how to gather data that you needed for your research? Like the methods?
I think I do. Based on my understanding, there are two types of data, primary and secondary data. Primary data can be gathered through observation, use of questionnaires, conducting an in-depth review or focused group reviews, and listening to narrative or oral histories. Meanwhile, secondary data can be found in government or semi-government publications, earlier research, personal records, and mass media contents.
That's accurate. I think you're ready to create your chapter 2 and 3 outline. Just follow the flow of how we discuss the topics today, as well as try to look for a thesis and dissertation manual your university has. Review and follow it, and you're good to go. Now let me ask, do you think other than using this for your research, can you relate a situation in your life where you can use these things you have mentioned?
While studying our instructional material, I found out that researchers actually follow a format, and that can be slightly different depending on the type of research. And the problem one is researching about, so I think it's important to follow structures to not only create an organized paper, but for it to serve the purpose of being understandable. During our conversation, I have realized that being in college in general is just like completing research. There are levels like first to fourth year that you will only pass by showing understanding about different subjects and completing its prerequisites. Just like in conducting research, it should not be rushed, and it's best that nothing is skipped. Taking time to fully understand the lesson by repeatedly questioning and looking for answer through different means available, and fit for the topic can be of great benefit for the result, a knowledgeable graduate student.
Wonderful takeaway. It seems we have answered your concerns for today, haven't we?
Yes, thank you.
I do hope you can be able to succeed in your studies and in completing your research. Good luck, student!
Thank you so much, Miss DJ.
Again, that was our research student, and we have discussed about chapter 2 and 3 of our research paper. Listeners, I hope that you have learned something as well from our discussion for today. As for the listeners out there, here is something to ponder about. How can we ensure that the result of data gathered through questionnaires are credible? During these times, where there is limited social engagement, is there any tips how can we utilize the internet to reach the target population to gain enough responses in due time to be used in the research? Answers to the question will be discussed in our next episode. Hear you all till our next episode of Scholastica, your educational radio station, where we can discuss about anything study related. Everyone, good night.